the president, as the fountain of honor, is to really be very serious in the fight against corruption. Every year talking about fighting corruption is not enough. He may order that action should be taken, but there will come a time when they relax. You know, at the beginning, they start, and even these members of parliament who are arrested, you see, police are very serious, the judiciary is quite serious, but the time will come when they are going to relax.
So in your view, you look at the president as lacking the will to fight corruption?
I think fighting corruption has defeated the president. Yes, the fighting corruption has defeated the president totally. He may have a will, but he is surrounded by corrupt people. You know, most of the people near him, they are quite corrupt. Therefore, he is now fearing that the moment he touches the certain button, it may explode. It may bring negative impact onto him. That's why the president is now fearing to fight these corrupt fellas. Because there are so many, and they are in every department. They have engulfed the whole government.
Would you recommend him to touch the trigger?
Yes, you know, if he's quite serious, I pray that let the president go and touch that button. And the moment he stands firm, he explained to Ugandans that, please, I am doing A, B, C, D to clean our nations. And he should start department by department. All those corrupt people, he fired them, he imprisoned some of them, and the moment he started doing so, you know, after clearing evidence, after getting evidence. So the moment the presidents start acting in that way, I'm telling you, Ugandans will really love him the more, and those few individuals would be cleared. But now he fears touching them because they are everywhere. They are within the security, within the technical people. Even now he's coming to parliament. So the man is finding himself powerless, and I'm praying for him. I pray for him sincerely.
Right, we are back again, and today being Tuesday, we are at Parliament like we promised yesterday. Those that are live watching here on XCOM TV, I have with me a guest that I will give time to introduce himself as we talk about some of the pertinent issues that we've lately been looking at. We've lately been looking at the surging climate change in the country, and of course we've as well been looking at the corruption levels that have gone high in this country. And today, being it that we are at Parliament, we shall be talking to one of the members of Parliament that comes from a semi-arid area. He comes from the areas of Acholi, and he will be telling us how hard this climate change issue has affected them and how it is affecting them. We understand we are now in the rainy patterns of the season and want to understand the difference if climate change is affecting them now that the season is now a wet season. We want to understand if there are floods, because we last heard the levels at which deforestation was taking place in the Acholi land was alarming. And today we have one Honorable Gilbert Olanya, and I don't want to say much until he says it himself. Honorable, you're most welcome today.
Thank you so much. My name is Gilbert Olanya, the Member of Parliament of Kilak South in Amoro District. Yes, Amoro District was carved out of Gulu District. And my district borders South Sudan. You know the weather condition in South Sudan. The place is extremely hot, and in fact we share the similar weather situation. I greet everyone. I am glad to be here today.
All right, we are most obliged to have you today, and we are so much glad having you on XCOM TV. And like I said, we want to look at the issue of climate change. Like it is, South Sudan borders Uganda this side, and Amulu being at the border. We understand the semi-aridity in that area, the levels of deforestation. I remember members from the Acholi sub-region were here not very long ago, and they're saying the levels of deforestation, the level at which charcoal burning is taking place in Acholi was alarming. We want to understand how it is like in the Acholi sub-region as of today.
Thank you. I would like to say 5 years ago, if you compare with this current situation, we were coming from Acholi, especially my district bordering South Sudan. We are experiencing a terrible situations. You know, 5 years ago, we had plenty of trees. everywhere, and the level of trees coverage was quite high. And then 3 years ago, we started with nesting. People coming, cutting down trees, falling trees for charcoal, and as I speak now, our area is quite bare. You are aware that being in the border, the weather situation in South Sudan now is moving towards Uganda, in my district specifically. We used to experience enough rainfall from this time. Mostly in northern part of this country, from March up to June, July, we normally have plenty of rainfall, and this is the time that people have good harvest for their cash crops and other crops. But at this time, we are experiencing dry spell, what we used not to experience earlier on. So cutting of trees has brought terrible problem in our area. I recall when we raised the matter before the president, when he visited northern Uganda, president gave the directives that the massive tree cuttings must stop. And we started enforcing as leaders. There came a time whereby the security personnel were compromised. The police officers, the UPDF started escorting the charcoal dealers. So the fight against massive tree cuttings, I may say it has defeated the leaders from northern part of this country. Because right from LC1 level, all the local leaders were being bribed. Somebody would come with money from Kampala, give the money to the LC1, LC3, and in fact even LC5. So everyone are in support of this massive tree cutting. So the fight has defeated our people because of corruption. And now we are feeling the heat. We are feeling the negative part of it. Since trees are all cut down, the rainfall patterns has changed. Now we are experiencing dry spell. Yet this is our best time for rainfall all the years along.
And where does that leave us? And when you say leaders have been compromised, though they are getting compromised every time, each time and again, where does that leave us? Where does it leave a common person who has nothing to do about the situation, but rather sit and watch?
The end result is that the local people will really suffer. Because once leaders are compromised, and they are looking at trees being cut down, and we came up with the policy of planting more trees, and the implementation is taking quite slow. And even if you plant trees now, it means the trees will grow. After 5-10 years, that's when we shall start experiencing enough trees coverage. So the end results will be the local people, because the rainfall would go away. We shall continue experiencing the dry spell, and the local people, their crops would not grow. They would have very poor yield of their harvest. Automatically, our local people would suffer.
And as leaders, do you ever get time and chance to meet these people, especially the people that clear bushes for farming, leave alone those that do charcoal burning? These ones that clear swamps, that invade swamps for farming, that clear bushes and put fire on them for farming. Do you ever meet them and encourage them? And then what are some of the excuses they give?
Yes, we never meet such kind of people. We have other people who are clearing chunk of land just for their cultivation, and there are others who normally tempered with the wetland. We normally meet them, talk to them, and the reasons that they normally give is that there are no land. Therefore, they are being tempted to go.
And most of these farms are on their land.
Exactly. So they are being tempted to go and clear and just clear the swampy areas. And more so, most of these swampy areas is located within their territory. So they find it very easy to destroy the swampy areas.
And talking about corruption, it's a vice that everyone in the country is crying. Everyone is crying out loud on corruption. You mentioned the fact that leaders in Acholi are getting bribed by people that come along to do charcoal burning, to do all sorts of issues on the environment. Talking about corruption in the country, do you have any comments about it, per se?
My brother, look at the level of corruption in Uganda. We are quite scared. Right now, we are more scared than any other Uganda. We used to hear corruption in other departments. You used to hear corruption in police, corruption in URA, corruption in other departments. But right now, the talks of corruption has entered inside parliament. Now, we used to hunt the corrupt people. Like I share Public Accounts Committee in charge of local government. We normally monitor how the money sent to districts were used. Now, the hunters are being hunted. It's quite embarrassing. And right now, it's putting Parliament into a very awkward situation. Because people look at Parliament with that negative perceptions. People used to think that Parliament is the most pure entity that fights corruption, appropriate funds, follow how funds is used. But right now, the serious issues of corruption is now entering inside Parliament. And if you hear the huge amount of money that were corrupted by Parliament, I think
the people's representatives that are being accused of corruption at Parliament.
exactly.
They're the members that constitute Parliament.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying we are now so embarrassed by the act of some of our colleagues, if truly they participated. You know, people are now lumping it as Parliament. They are not now differentiating, and they are not knowing that they are individuals within the Parliament. Now they call it Parliament, it's corrupt. That's why we are now telling the head of the leaders of Parliament, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and our clerks. This is the time we need to clean our name as Parliament. If at all truly some members of Parliament involve themselves in the corruption tendency, let them be exposed. Let the law take its course. That's why we are so grateful.
Exposure itself enough. Exposing corrupt officials is it enough?
Let
seen people get exposed and they still get involved in such.
You are right. Let them be exposed, arrested, and let the law of this country work on them. Because only being exposed, not taking actions, is as good as useless. Let them be exposed, and the law should take its course. That's why we are not blaming for the arrest of those 3 members of Parliament.
A mother does not kill her kid. Can Parliament really punish their own members? You have the will.
You know, it depends on somebody's character. But some of us who are very clean and we think that corruption is bad, we are ready to do anything on the corrupt people. The moment there's proof. That's why you recall, right now Parliament is collecting signatures in censoring those commissioners. Because we have the evidence that they participated in sharing the 1.7 billion shillings. We have enough evidence. So the moment we get evidence, as members of Parliament, we shall swing into action. Because this is the time we need to clean our names. We don't want some few individuals to come and tarnish the name of the whole institution. It's very embarrassing.
Is it practical, the censure issue? Because not too long ago you censured the honorable minister and she never left her office.
You know, we normally do the censorship, but the appointing authority, that's the president, is the final person.
In this case, as the appointing authority are the members of Parliament, right?
In this case, for the commissioners, the commissioners are answerable to members of Parliament. That's why you have the right to say...
Members of Parliament, but not selected or elected by members of Parliament.
They're appointed by the parties.
In this case, when the appointing authority says no, and they answer them to you as members of Parliament.
I think in this case, the moment we collected the enough signatures and we managed to go through on the floor of Parliament, automatically we are going to chase them. Because these people are answerable to members of Parliament. They are our prefects, they are our monitors. So
my challenge here is, they are answerable to members of Parliament, right? It is indeed. But not appointed by members of Parliament. Like you said, the appointing authority, the other time you censured the honorable minister, passes in Muganza. The appointing authority, like it was said, never wanted it and he did not bless it. So in this case, if you say they are answerable to members of parliament, what will happen if you censure them and the appointing authority says no, they have to stay?
You know, since they are answerable to members of parliament, the moment we say we don't want you to represent us, even if the appointing authority try to cover them up, and then we shall leave them, let them work for the appointing authority. We shall get our own commissioners. Because they normally come to members of parliament, they get our views, and they act according to our wish. The moment you are there as a commissioner, and members refuse to work with you, you are as good as useless. So you'll be embarrassed, you'll be ashamed, and we'll leave you there with the appointing authority. You know, for the minister, the case is quite different, because for the minister, everything lies solely with the president, and the minister serves the ministry, deal directly with the ministry. But this one, these commissioners, they deal directly with members of parliament. So it's very easy to deal with them. The moment we go through with our process, the moment the process is done, you'll see we shall not work with them.
Are you not witch hunting the small dogs, leaving the bulldogs?
You know, we had so many cases, and there are so many people that the names were published, saying so-and-so works in the office of the speaker, billion of shillings was sent to his account, billion of shillings was sent to his account. But, you know, it's quite difficult. We have failed to get the evidence. You know, it's very hard to work under speculations. You cannot assume that maybe the money was given to the speaker, then you act. And if somebody could furnish us with enough evidence that the money was given to the speaker, I think you would see the real character of members of parliament.
Their accounts not that money was sent.
Yes, and if you look at those accounts, the accounts are in the names of individuals, not the speaker. And that's why many people are saying, you people, you are hunting the small animals, you are leaving the big one, and it is true.
And you've also heard about it?
Yes, many people are telling us, even in northern Uganda, wherever we go over radios, in talk shows, people are saying, you people, you're fighting the wrong war. Just go straight to the big passion. Exactly. And we are saying now, give us the evidence that pain, that big passion. And you'll see.
To say, look for evidence, and then you're asking evidence from the people.
You know, when somebody say, because for us we are looking for evidence, and right now we have so far failed to get evidence. So anybody who has evidence, give us. I'm telling you, the moment we get evidence that indicates clearly that this billion of shillings went to the office of the Right Honorable Speaker or the Deputy Speaker, you would see. You know, in this world, like in Parliament, we all came as an individual. We are representing our constituencies. There's no need of fearing anything. You have to work straight and for the people. That is it. So we are ready to swing into actions. The moment we get enough evidence, you will see. We shall censor very big people.
You chair the local government committee, public accounts committee of local government.
Yes.
The corruption of local governments. Have you read through the reports from most of these local governments, and what do you find from those reports?
Yeah, we never read the report from the Auditor General. We never send our auditors to audit all the local governments across the country. Now we have about 135 districts, municipalities. In total, we have around 170 plus entities that we do audit. It is true, we never read their report, and the level of corruption is quite high within the local government, especially on the major areas like the works department. You find the money was sent to construct particular road. For example, you may find out about 10 billion was budgeted, and you find the local government using 1 billion or 2 billion. You ask them where are the rest of the money, they cannot explain well. It is true the level of corruption is too high, especially in the local government, where people swindle money with impunity. That's why as our committee, we are exposing them. After exposing them, we come up with our recommendation to the parliament, and we give the executives to make sure it is implemented. You know, as parliament, we only recommend. Upon recommendations, is the executive to put it under implementation. And as I speak now,
Has done the best of it, the best it should.
you know, the challenge is on the implementation. We will recommend, but when it comes to recommendations, I think our executives should pull up their socks. The level of implementation is quite low because you may see that there's evidence after Parliament exposing, recommending that action should be taken. Nothing is done. We will recommend that let the money be recovered from an individual who has misappropriated the fund. For example, the accounting officer, or the district engineers, or the DHO, or the DEO. After recommending, you see no action taking place. So we don't know exactly what normally happens. Our executives are so reluctant. Maybe we talk of corruptions. You find somebody going to implement, the person may be corrupted, and everything just die. That's why we are praying that the good Lord should really help this country. And the president, as the fountain of honor, he should really be very serious in the fight against corruption. Every year talking about fighting corruption is not enough. He may order that action should be taken, but there will come a time when they relax. You know, at the beginning, they start, and even these members of parliament who are arrested, you see police are very serious, the judiciary is quite serious, but the time will come when they are going to relax.
So in your view, you look at the president as lacking the will to fight corruption?
I think fighting corruption has defeated the president.
Has defeated him?
Yes, the fighting corruption has defeated the president totally. He may have a will, but he is surrounded by corrupt people. You know, most of the people near him, they are quite corrupt. Therefore, he is now fearing that the moment he touches the certain button, it may explode. It may bring negative impact onto him. That's why the president is now fearing to fight these corrupt fellas. Because there are so many, and they are in every department. They have engulfed the whole government.
Would you recommend him to touch the trigger?
Yes, you know, if he's quite serious, I pray that let the president go and touch that button.
He mentioned of the explosion, and he said that when you scare away these corrupt officials, the economy will run down. So if he touches the trigger button, will then the economy get down?
You know, if you want to clean the country, and the moment he stands firm, he explained to Ugandans that, please, I am doing A, B, C, D to clean our nations. And he should start department by department. All those corrupt people, he fired them, he imprisoned some of them, and the moment he started doing so, you know, after clearing evidence, after getting evidence. So the moment the presidents start acting in that way, I'm telling you, Ugandans would really love him the more, and those few individuals would be cleared. But now he fears touching them because they are everywhere. They are within the security, within the technical people. Even now he's coming to parliament. So the man is fighting himself powerless, and I'm praying for him. I pray for him sincerely.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.